Okay guys, in our CNY video you would have seen Mel in it, and maybe some of you youngsters would not know who Mel is, but I see a lot of readers commenting on my YouTube and Facebook that you all have been reading Mel's stuff since childhood. So Mel, how many years have you been in the motoring writing industry or media?
30 years.
30 years?
Started right from the bottom.
You started in what year?
Oh, I can't remember, 1980 something.
Not 70s,
No, not 70s. I was young. I was just out of school and I was just bumming around. Totally aimless. I've tried everything. I've been petrol station attendant, sales, encyclopedia salesman. Totally aimless and rudderless. Nobody was guiding me in my career until I fell into this. And I fell into this in a very strange way. I was trained in graphic art. So I was working as
graphic design
artist, graphic artist in the printing press. And then this bright guy, but at the time Robert Chia, he's the godfather of car magazines in Malaysia. He was educated in Australia. He saw the car magazines there. He came back with this idea, hey, you could do this in Malaysia. So he actually started a car magazine called Asian Auto all the way back in the 70s.
So he was the very first one,
very first, and everybody here in Singapore had never seen a local.
Is it the first in the region?
Yes, definitely. English speaking or any other language. It was the first
motoring magazine.
At that time it was only British and Australian. Even Australia was very quick backward. It was British and American. So when this guy started his magazine, he for talent, of course there were no motoring writer. For talent, he convinced this guy by the name of Shahid Al Hussein. He used to work for the Ministry of Education in charge of exam syndication. And he was very frustrated with his work and position. So this Robert Chia convinced him to come out and become his managing editor of his magazine. And he got it started.
Nice.
And then it so happened that I was working in the printer that he was printing the magazine in, and he used to come to this place and he saw me. I was there, this young guy doing the graphic art. I was just doing art, the design in the desk, and he used to come very often. Then he noticed because I do a lot of doodling and invariably all about cars and motorbike, and I'll paste the things the back of my of me, and he'll notice. Then one day, hey, you're very good at drawing this, I need you in my magazine. So he took me away from that place and set me up as the studio artist. And then from there started, because in those days the operation were all very, very small. Everybody did everything, and some of them got lazy and were short-handed. So he threw a camera in my hand and asked me to go and take some pictures or cover this event, and it started from there. Obviously, after a while, the editor realized that I was much better at writing than at design. Got more and more car to drive, and we did everything. Really learned everything from the ground up until.
He's done a lot of crazy stuff. He told me that he's done, he just told me that he once went to a Honda racetrack driving a race car without steering wheel, right? Moved by itself.
It's about 15 years ago. We were invited by Honda to Tokichi. And one of the cars that we were allowed to drive was this Honda Civic. You sit in there and there's no steering wheel in front of you. And you could drive around the circuit. I mean, the technology was there, and because it's a race circuit, they had all the sensors for the system to pick up. And you could just drive. You could even be blindfolded.
And you've raced for Bufori as well, right?
Yeah, I raced for Bufori. I raced for Ford. I drove for Ford Laser in the San Patu Tiga circuit.
Epic. So we're gonna hear a lot more from Mel, and there's a lot from us to learn from him, and it should be interesting.
One of the reasons why I decided to opt for retirement, give this all up, because when the transition became internet based, I thought this game was all for young people, but I just couldn't work up the enthusiasm. And the young people all seemed to be expert. Anybody with a keyboard and the internet connection was an expert. So I just stepped away and said, this is enough for me. So this is a new thing for me, and see if we can do this.
Yeah. All right. Cheers, guys.
Hi. It's funny, but it's true. Every time I introduce a very expensive cars to friends or on social media, aside from the usual ooh and wow, there will always be comments like, this is a very crazy thing to spend money on, shocking resale value, depreciation, very bad investment, the usual yada yada. Always without fail, there will always be someone spoiling the party, wet blanket comments that is. But it's obvious a person is not rich enough for this category of car purchase. Don't have that high power job, don't have the position, what I call a sour grape syndrome. Such cars are strictly for the bosses, and not just any boss, the boss of the bosses. This is beyond Tauke, the Taipan. Status symbol cars like this are never considered the same way that you and I would think of. Such superlative purchases are just another acquisition, a business expense, and is to be driven by the chauffeur. It will be underused, underappreciated by a member of the elite who exists in a seemingly surreal world. Yes, life is unfair. A very expensive car shoves this fact in your face, hence the sour grape syndrome. Let me introduce you to one such car. This is the Mercedes-Benz Super S-Class.